You're listening to Talk Amongst Yourself, the solo space where we pause, reflect, and get radically honest about the messy magic of being human. I'm your host, Kayleen. Just me, the mic, and you every week. So in the words of Oprah Haza, come sail away with me. I'm your host, Kayleen. And today I'm heavy. I had a totally different episode planned for today, but then the airstrikes hit over the weekend and I realized, how could I talk about anything else? This isn't just politics anymore. It's about fear, grief, helplessness. It's about what happens when we watch the world shake and still have to get up and go to work the next day. On June 21st, the United States launched a coordinated airstrike on 3 of Iran's nuclear facilities: Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. The operation, dubbed Operation Midnight Hammer, used B-52 stealth bombers and bunker-busting GBU-57 bombs to target deeply buried enrichment sites, supposedly. If you view the pictures, all you see are basically, and I'm referring to the satellite pictures, all the sites are basically just 3 holes in the ground. That's what you see. So on his little Truth Social, Trump called the strikes a spectacular military success, as usual, claiming the sites were completely and totally obliterated. But the fallout, political, emotional, and literal, it's still unfolding as I speak. As we all know, Iran has vowed retaliation. They said that they have sleeper cells within the U.S. that are going to awaken, which that I don't doubt. I don't doubt that at all. Iran's foreign minister called the attack outrageous and warned of everlasting consequences. I'm not surprised. The Department of Homeland Security issued a bulletin already warning of a heightened threat environment in the U.S. Just what does that mean? A heightened threat environment in the U.S. They cite risks of cyber attacks and possible violence from sympathizers. Possible violence and possible cyber attacks. I don't know that it's possible. I think it's probable at this point. So here we go. Meanwhile, in Israel, and they still continue to bomb Iran. Iran continues to exchange missile fire with them. Over 400 people have been killed, probably more, since June 13th, and at least there are, I guess, 24 in Israel. I mean, what do you think is going to happen to the oil prices? They are going to go straight up. The Strait of Hormuz, which is the most critical shipping lane for oil out there, has been closed. The Secretary Council, they're stating, is scrambling to respond, and they're claiming that it's just a military operation. I call this a global tremor. And what I mean by that is it is going to send shockwaves through the world. It already has. I have felt shock. I've felt fear. And this is all within, the last, 24 to 48 hours. Then there's guilt because, I live in this country and, here we are with this regime that is in place that I surely didn't vote for, bombing people because we owe our allegiance to Israel. I'm just upset for once, I just would like for our country to take care of our country and be what we said we were going to be, peacemakers. We're supposedly the peacemakers of the world. We were supposedly, we were part of the UN when it was, put together. We're one of the founding members. Now it's like we have no allies. We have no friends. It's hard for us to travel anywhere without people, every time they ask you, "Oh, you're American?" Yeah, and you're embarrassed and you bend your head down and they look at you and they go, "Yeah, it's okay. We understand. We understand that it's the leadership." But do they really? Do they really understand it's the leadership? I mean, 70 million people decided they wouldn't vote, and then we also had what? I would say how many people voted for Trump, you know? How many people gave up their morals? How many? I don't know. It's a lot. I didn't look up the numbers before I sat down today and started talking. Um, all I know is that I'm feeling that familiar ache that I felt, you know, when Israel was attacked. That was horrible. And then when Israel attacked back, that was horrible. But they've never stopped, and it's still horrible. So, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. It's a catch 22. I mean, to be honest, I don't want to support anybody. It's just that too familiar feeling of being small, in a big, violent world. I thought about the lives that were near those bunkers. How do we know how many families were there? The trauma that they're all going to feel because we decided we were just going to go bomb somebody. We decided that we were just going to jump in because, we decided here's what kills me is we decided you can't have nuclear arms, just us, and of course, Israel has some, and, Russia has them, and, Lord knows how many other big countries have them, right? But you can't, just us. I mean, it's just nuts. It blows my mind that we think that we are the gatekeeper to every single country out there. I'm not sure anymore of where we're going, how I feel. I mean, look at all the people that just sacrifice their morals to let Trump get back into the White House. And actually, did he really get back in the White House? I just want to know how come there were never any recounts. How come Kamala didn't ask for any recounts? I just cannot believe that it was just like, okay, yeah, we'll just leave it the way it is. I'll just walk away when, for months, how many, man, I mean, let's take it all the way back to Hillary. Hillary told everybody what was going to happen if he won. Hillary was absolutely correct. Go ahead, go back, take a listen to what she was saying. And then you have Kamala basically saying the same things, outlined everything. But we are such a misogynistic country that we couldn't even vote in a white woman. And then we sure the hell weren't going to vote in a black woman. So I don't know. I don't know where this is all going to. I have my own, beliefs. I have my own system, and I don't expect anybody to hop on my bandwagon and join me in what I'm saying or feeling. This is just me getting some words out there, trying to let people know what's going on. I mean, look at what happened in Germany. People stayed silent, and Hitler nearly won the war. Can you imagine what that would have been like? And now look at it. You think they're going to let us win the war? I just don't understand how we live normal lives while, war is living, is a living, breathing, looming thing in real time on our phones every day. I mean, I don't have all the answers. All I know is I do have a heartbeat, and I have this show, and I have this platform, and it's a brand new show, and this is not even what I planned to talk about the first day. I had other plans. I sometimes I can't find the clarity in things, and sometimes I do. Sometimes they're just the clear answers are right in my face, And there are just days when I don't want to talk about the news, when I have to shut it all off and I have to walk away. But now this is just too important. Staying informed matters. It does. I know some people are like, they don't care because they feel like as long as their bubble is okay, that everything is okay and life will unfold and it'll be fine. But the world is a lot bigger than just you. And what we do affects a lot more than just the United States, a lot more than just Oklahoma, New York, California, Texas, Iowa, Indiana, Vermont, New Jersey, Florida, Idaho, Washington, a lot more, Oregon, I mean, South Dakota, North Dakota. It doesn't just affect our country, it affects Mexico, it affects Africa. I mean, I guess Africa is a continent, right? But, there's countries there, tons of countries there, South Africa, Nigeria, Ethiopia, down to Brazil. I mean, it affects everyone. And now we're in danger of, you know, China possibly attacking Taiwan, everybody else warning us. And this could turn out to be full blown scale World War III, or, and if it doesn't, it's going to be a miracle. It may not. Who knows? I don't know. I just know how I'm feeling right now. And I know how I'm feeling today. You know, sending energy, that's what I'm doing. I'm sending energy out to everybody who is affected by this. This affects us on the inside and it affects us on the outside. And so many of us are internal people. I myself, I'm very internal. I like to go into myself and I like to assess my own feelings and do my own thing. And I don't like to be vulnerable. I hate being vulnerable. And, that's a whole nother subject, right? I've talked about that on our other show, Talk Amongst Friends, when we have other people on the show. But this right now, this is my first take on going solo. And, at first I thought this is going to be hard for me to sit here and just talk. But apparently it's not. It seems that I'm doing just fine today. But I just wanted to say, if you're listening right now and you're feeling overwhelmed, this moment is for you. You're not detached. You're not apathetic. You're human. And no matter what breaks, no matter who bombs, your softness, your outrage, your quiet ache, it still matters. Mine still matters. Mine still matters. Anyway, my plan is to be back next week. And every other week, talking about a myriad of subjects. Like I said, tonight's show was supposed to be about something definitely different, but this ache in my chest, this anxiety that I'm feeling, I had to come here and I had to talk about it and I had to get it out because I know that there are people out there struggling. There are people out there, trying to think about what they're going to tell their children, how they're going to deal with this stuff. On top of this stuff, everybody's dealing with their own lives, their own family, their whatever that may be, but at the same time, at this type of level, we're sitting here and we're dealing with, a country right now that feels like it's on fire. It feels like, we have a regime that just is full of people that are uneducated and unqualified, literally unqualified people to run this stuff. I mean, we're talking about a major power here. We literally have a 22-year-old kid. Okay, his name is Thomas Fugate. He is the Department of Homeland Security official who is tasked with overseeing the government's main hub for combating violent extremism. Are you serious right now? 22 years old. I feel like I don't even know what to say about that. I just know that these people that are running the United States of America into the ground are a bunch of cowards. They're a bunch of uneducated, and maybe they are educated with 1 year, out of college, people that have no business, no experience. I don't care how educated you are. You don't get experience just from going to school and sitting in a freaking chair. Sorry, you don't. However, our country is being ran currently, and I call it a regime, and I can't call him the president of the United States because it makes me disgusted. It's just being ran into the ground and we're okay with that. I don't think everybody's okay with that. But I think if you don't get off your ass and start sharing and start making sure that you're educated about what is happening, then that's going to be even a bigger problem. Because staying silent isn't going to help anybody else. Oh, it could help you. I mean, let's be honest. My bubble right now, my bubble is great. I'm not going through hell. I'm not being bombed. I'm not, I'm still getting paid. I still have a job as of, today. But you know what? I'm looking outside of my bubble. I'm looking outside because I live in a country that just feels like our rights and our government is being dismantled in front of us. You all can say, well, layoffs are always part of, yeah, it's part of the government, but it has never been done in mass like this as quickly as this has been. And it's just causing mad chaos because chaos keeps you busy with other things while other chaotic things are happening. Pay attention. That's all I can say. I don't know what next week is going to bring. I haven't the slightest idea. But I will be back next week. Like I said, I don't know how much closer to home I can get. But for now, I'm just going to say keep breathing. It's been hard for me. Keep listening. And definitely keep talking amongst yourself and amongst yourselves. You can always email me if you have any show ideas, anything like that. It's always welcome. Let me know what you think. Write comments. The one thing that I have learned over the years is there's always going to be negativity out there. There's always going to be negative comments. But what you need to know about me, quite frankly, I don't care what you think of me. I don't care. Maybe 20 years ago I would have, but today I don't care. You're basically preaching to the choir. So if you don't have anything to say that is positive, you're more than welcome to not say it. But if you do, you just may get a reply that you don't want to hear. Anyway, this has been the first episode of Talk Amongst Yourself. I hope you stay grounded and fight the future, just like that X-Files episode. Take care.